Hey guys, it's Swapnil here. So welcome to this case study interview with a client who's just been through the TAP system. And I thought it'd be a great idea just to give you guys some insights as to what his experience has been. And also one thing that would like to also share, if you can share a couple of tips as well, Ben, that'd be great in the sense of like what you found was useful. So that one of the things with these videos, I want it to be valuable for you to spend time watching these as well. So not just we talking about the tab system as well. So yeah, so firstly, Ben, do you want to just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, where you're based, what you do, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ben England. I'm head instructor of Apex Martial Arts Academies, which is based in Evesham, Worcestershire. We concentrate mainly on ITF Taekwondo, and we also do boxing and kickboxing classes as well. Probably 60–70% of our student base are kids. We've been as high as 350 students pre-COVID. And when I spoke to Swap for his services, we were around about 280, 3–4 months ago.
So when you got in touch with me, like what were you struggling with at that time? Like what was the reason for you to get in touch?
It was, well, obviously we'd had quite a decline in students. Part of that was due to me becoming a dad and taking my foot off the gas at my school. But I was finding sort of the organic methods of marketing were working less and less. And it used to be, 3–4 years ago, I'd chuck a Facebook advert out with a landing page for a free class and I'd get 20 new students. And I was finding that those methods just really weren't working for me anymore. And I didn't really know why. I didn't know if it was the type of adverts I was putting out there. I didn't know if it was the method, i.e. sending them to a landing page rather than collecting their details. And I was just throwing money away, essentially. I was throwing money at Facebook adverts, directing them to pages, and not getting anywhere near the amount, not even the amount of clicks, let alone the amount of inquiries that I was used to getting, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So just needed help figuring it out, and a bit more of a cohesive system for me to sort of help recover my school and get back to where we needed to be.
So what made you reach out to me particularly? Was there anything particular or anything?
I mean, I can't get away from you on Facebook, mate. Every time I go, oh, they're Swap again. And yeah, I've seen your post before. I'd watched a few of your case studies. I know a lot of the instructors that you've worked with in the past. I spoke to a couple at tournaments. Oh, do you know Swap? So yeah, I know Swap. Oh yeah, he's done really good work for me. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking to hire a marketer, you want someone who's capable of marketing to you. So yeah, I mean, you were the guy that was constantly on my feed and constantly telling me the things I wanted to hear.
Brilliant. No, I'm glad to see that it worked as well. It works because at the end of the day, if I can't market properly, then how can I mentor people and stuff?
Exactly.
So, all right. So what has your experience been like using the TAP system then? So and then you can share what kind of results as well you've got with it.
Yeah, sure. So sort of the way I like to learn, it was great for me. Lots of videos to watch and lots of information to digest. One thing I sort of like, a lot of the things in the course are things that I've sort of independently found out I knew already, but I didn't really know how to put them together. So things to do with the automations, and setting up advert. I know how to set up an advert. It was more what I need to put in it. But I still went through all of the videos and made sure that I was digesting all of the information. So for me, the ability to sort of go through it at my own time was great. I've got a 2-year-old son. Some days he's at nursery, some days I have him, some days he's at home with me and his mum. So the fact that I could literally do, right, I'm going to do 6 hours of work on the TAP system today, and I could, and then the next day, oh, I've got my little boy all day, that's not happening. So that was really useful for me. The support that you can get through the Facebook group and through the weekly calls. I wasn't able to attend many of them, as you know, because duties as a parent and business owner. But I knew that was always in the background. If I ever needed to reach out to Swap, then I knew he was there. I've got ready here my iPad, which has like literally all of my notes on the tap
Oh yeah,
system,
that's
like
brilliant.
pages and pages and pages of it. I literally just sat in front of my computer, put my headphones in, got my iPad, and just wrote down everything I needed to know. So yeah, the resources were all there for me. It was pre-made. Do all my notes, and any questions that I had, I could just reach out to Swap, and yeah, you can help me out.
That's awesome, man. So you found it quite helpful the way it's been structured, like
Yeah, yeah. So people that like me, so right, I've got a block of time, so now I'm going to go and learn everything I need to learn. Great. Those that prefer to ask questions and be taught one-on-one, there's the weekly calls where you can ask questions to those in the know, and obviously anyone else on the call that's currently going through the TAP system can help as well. So if you prefer that sort of not one-on-one, but sort of group style learning with an actual teacher in front of you, that happens twice a week as well. Excuse me. So yeah, the way that I did it worked for me, and the way that other people might work could work for them as well.
I think like when you mention your results in a minute, I think it's quite I think it's awesome just the way you've done it, and then you still got results so much from not even having to be on the calls,
Mm.
So obviously, I mean, the videos were quite effective, which I'm really happy to hear about, of course, but there's always that extra support as well there for you. So
Yeah.
um, would you mind sharing what results you've had from
Yeah, sure. So find my spreadsheet. So basically, I joined the course in November, which historically, as we know, is not a great time to get new students. You should never really stop marketing, but historically, you're not going to get masses of students in. So when I joined November, I was just concentrating on just learning, putting a couple of adverts out just to see the results, just on small budgets to see what happens. And I did get students from that as well. Even in December, I was still getting students from just literally spending £5 a day on ads. But since the start of the year, I have had 174 inquiries, resulting in 164 trials, which is a huge percentage.
Yeah.
And of those, my showed statistics aren't completely correct, but about 75% of those actually showed. And of those, hang on, that maths isn't quite correct either. Sorry, 1 second. 2/3 joined. So I've added 62 new members since the beginning of the year. Obviously, you lose some as well. So I've gone from just under 280 to 319 since I joined the TAP course. My short-term goal is 350, which would get me back to where I was pre-COVID, which I'm aiming for April. And then it slow down a little. I want 400 before the end of the year, because I don't want more than I can handle too quickly. But yeah, if these numbers keep up, obviously January is a bit of an outlier, as we know. You're always going to get inquiries in January no matter what. But if that sort of those sort of results continue, then yeah, I'll definitely get there.
How has it started in February so far with you? Like, is still getting inquiries coming through?
Yeah, so slower, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're 10 days into February. I've got 26 inquiries. And obviously some of these will bleed in from January, but I've got 47 trials booked for the month.
Nice.
Because obviously, 26, I'm showing as 180% booked inquiry to trial ratio, which I know obviously isn't right. But yeah, so 7 so far this month, which is just under 1 a day. I'll take 1 a day all day long,
That's
all
brilliant.
day long. So
that's awesome, man. So I'm just happy to hear that it's worked so well for you. And one of the things that you will notice going a few months ahead and stuff, the system will start getting more consistent with you anyway, as you're testing all these different ads that you're doing and everything anyway. So like a couple of tips. Can you share a couple of tips for someone that's watching this right now? What's helped? What has been the few little needle movers for you?
yeah, so as I think I said at the beginning, I had a lot of the parts of the system that I needed, just not trying to put them together. So I knew how to do automations. I just didn't really know what to write in my automations. I knew how to run a Facebook ad. I just didn't necessarily know what sort of images I needed to use. So I'd say, regardless of your current level of skill when it comes to marketing, do it all. Literally go through every single video and make notes on everything. There's always going to be little nuggets of information that you will pick up along the way. regardless of how much you already know. When it comes to testing, sort of different types of copy, different images, definitely. And if you get a winner, up your budget. If you get a loser, cut it, write a new one. Be ruthless. And yeah, take in all the information that you can. Do set time aside to sit down, view all of the videos, take in all the information, make notes. You get out what you put in. And if you're not willing to sit down for those, I don't know how many hours of videos there are. The copywriting course alone, I think, is 90 minutes long. If you don't take the time to sit down and absorb that information, you're not going to get anything from it. So you need to make sure that you're willing to put that time commitment in.
I think one of the biggest, you're quite technical in the sense you've done quite a lot of automation things as well compared to most others that come to this. So would you say someone that is not tech savvy at all would be able to implement this stuff just the way it's laid out?
Yeah, as long as you're following it step by step, then yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the programs and apps that you use, for example, I don't use because I have a different one that I'm already using that can do all of the same things. But from the way that it was all set out, like, yeah, there's literally step A, step B, step C, step D, follow it all, and yeah, you'll be absolutely fine.
Brilliant. So last question, if someone's on the fence of thinking about working with me or have been like not taking the action that they need to, like, what would you say to them? Like, is it worth the investment as well?
Now run a million miles now. I'm joking. Yeah, 100%. It was, it is an investment. And I had to sort of make sure I had the money before I put it in. But if, say, for example, I didn't sign up any new students from now onwards, next month, then that new students I've already signed up will pay for the investment easy within 2 months. So if you're willing to put the work in and put the investment in, and you have the right structures in place in your school already, then yeah, it will pay for itself very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. It would have paid for me quicker, except I joined in November. So, I was sort of waiting until January to really put the ramp up the
ad spend and everything,
the ad spend. There we go. That's what I was looking for. See, teaching me still. So yeah, no, it'll easily pay for itself very, very quickly if you're putting the work in and doing what you need to do.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. So if you're watching this and you've been on the fence or you want to find out more, just reach out to me or my team. Literally, we'll have a chat. There's no pushing us, nothing like that. We'll just see if we can help you first. And love to chat to you and help you in any way we can. Ben, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. And
no worries.
Can't wait to see the results going the months forward as well and see how it'll keep growing. I know it will. So it'd just be awesome to see. So thanks a lot very much. And everyone else that's watched this, thank you for your time. And I'll speak to you all soon. And Ben, stay on for a second.